What's going on, everyone? It's Ian Lenny, digital marketing consultant and agency owner. And in this video, I'm going to take you through a basic overview of the Ontraport Autoresponder system. We're going to go through a little bit of the user interface, and I'm going to talk about some of the pros and cons of Ontraport. Now, this is important because many of you out there are looking to use Ontraport for your business, and you're comparing it to some of these other systems. Ontraport is one of the biggest autoresponder systems, so I know a lot of you guys are thinking about using it for your business. So in this video, I'm going to talk about some of the pros and cons, and if you get to the end, I'm going to talk about the one type of business that should never use Ontraport as its autoresponder. So anyway, let's get into this video. All right, so here I am in the dashboard for Ontraport, and we're just going to start here because this is one of the first pages that I got to load. Now, one thing you're going to notice is that in the back end of Ontraport, some of the pages load very slowly, which I'm going to say right up front is going to be my first complaint with the Ontraport system. There's a lot that I like here, which I'm going to go over, but the first thing that you'll probably notice, and I may have to edit out, is the page load in the back end right now, for whatever reason, is slow. I don't know if they're making updates or if this is an unusual thing, but I can tell you for the last month or so that I've been using it, this has been the case. So first off, their dashboard. Ontraport comes in with a built-in metrics dashboard where you can easily add new metrics that have to do with your customer base and different aspects of each one of your customers. You can easily sort for things like new contacts based on what time period they came in on, and you can see right here that there's, it's very easy to add different metrics. The one issue that I do have is that they don't have some sort of blended metrics screen that shows any type of chart or time series analysis on these metrics. It just shows in these little heads-up display dashboards individually for each one of the metrics. So I don't really like that too much. Moving on to Ontraport's CRM, you go into their contacts and you can see that the layout is pretty straightforward. It's going to load here. All right, finally we're in the campaigns section of contacts. So when I came up here to contact, I went into the first tab, which was campaigns, just to show you guys some basics of how you get into the campaign setup and their campaign map that you can then build out your automations on. So here I have a list of a bunch of different automations we're using. I'm going to go into one of the new ones we created, which should be a little shorter and easier to load in Ontraport. Okay, so here we are in the campaign map. I finally got this to load. So what you can see here is that at the top, you'll see the places on the campaign map where new users can come into your flow. Generally, Ontraport sequences will have a section for manually adding people to each automation that you have, and then another trigger-based way to add users to this automation. So in this case, you can see that this is a customer win-back campaign, and it's triggered when someone has been on our list but inactive for 60 days, meaning they haven't, added anything to the cart or purchased a product. And you can see what happens here. Basically, they're added to this campaign. This one automatically moves them to the email sequence, and you can see here this option, which is a goal in Ontraport purchase. What goals do that's nice is they automatically take people out of your sequence if the goal is reached. So in this case, for a purchase, if someone's in a win-back campaign and then at some point in that sequence they purchase a product, they're automatically taken out of that sequence. So I like the way that Ontraport does goals because they make it very clear to see how someone is going to move off a campaign map. Meaning, if I have triggers that have some overlap and I could potentially have someone on all these different maps, I want a very clear way to understand how someone is going to get moved off a map, or to make sure that they're not, on a win-back campaign after they've purchased a product. So goals is kind of like a very nice, convenient catch-all to move people on and off of your campaign. And anyway, you can see here that they have each trigger and each action the person takes individually spaced out in its own box, like you can see right here, which makes it very easy to keep track of what's going on. So in this case, you send an email one day after they're added to this win-back campaign sequence. You wait 2 days, send the second email, wait 8 days, and you can see that continues all the way down until you reach the end, which signifies that someone has reached the end of this campaign and is no longer a part of this campaign. So the end, along with the goals, makes it very easy to move people on and off of these campaign maps. What's also nice is for that other option to manually add people to campaigns, you'll see here that there's an option called Go To, which allows you to string together different entry points for campaigns. So between all the different options for triggers and manually adding people to campaigns, all the different action and on campaign map triggers, and then the goals that allow you to move people off campaigns, Ontraport makes it very clear how people are going to be moving through your company's email automation system. And I really like this because this is the main functionality that I use Ontraport for. A lot of people are buying these different autoresponders to use the CRM or to use their page builder, which Ontraport has. But in my case, I was only using the campaign map. So for me, I really liked that part of Ontraport.
All right, so right now I am in the forms section of Ontraport, and one nice thing about this is you can edit, these types of forms to make any type of opt-in you want, or any type of, reminder or pop-up for people on your site. You can basically just drop the script for Ontraport onto your site, and then have these, pre-built or easy to drag and drop design forms for people to fill in, so that you can have, your own opt-in. So you don't have to connect any opt-in or do any integrations or anything like that on your site. You can just have Ontraport's opt-ins, be able to build those, make custom ones, and design them yourself. Okay, this is the last part in here. Under sales, you have products. For us, we have all our different products that we're using. And one of the interesting things about this is that, okay, the last part of this is products. So if you come into sales and products, you're going to see this product page, which lists all your different products. And what's nice about this is it's very simple. You can see add new product. You come in here and you give basically the name, a quick description, the price, and then that product is in the system. So if you want to use the purchase of a specific product as a trigger, or if you want to use it as a limiter to switch people from one list to another, meaning if they purchase a bunch of these products and then they purchase this next one, they get taken off the list and put onto a new list. You can use all the different products for conditions. So it makes it really nice that it's easy to come in here and add these. Okay, so I'm in here now in the rules pages, and real quick, I just want to talk about, the overall, the 30,000 foot view of Ontraport. So Ontraport, I think, is great if you're someone who doesn't want to have to work with a lot of different pieces of software and you kind of just want to do everything in one place. If you have a fairly straightforward website and you purchase Ontraport, you're going to be able to do everything from making opt-in forms to building pages like landing pages, managing your email list, doing complex email automations, and then lead scoring, meaning the quality of the people on your list, what they're producing in terms of sales and interaction. And you're going to be able to start to get important metrics like the lifetime value of your customers. Unfortunately, at the beginning of this video, I talked about the one type of business that should absolutely not use Ontraport. And right now, from my point of view, that is a rapidly growing e-commerce company with many different products that needs to do advanced email automation. And the reason I say that is because there are many important features Ontraport does not have, and they don't seem to be moving towards building those features, and they're very important for this type of company. So, for example, the most important one that I believe Ontraport should have, and it doesn't, is dynamic remarketing in their emails. So meaning if you have someone that is about to purchase something on your e-commerce site and they add items to their cart and then leave the page, they bounce from the page, they leave the cart. Most email autoresponders have a way to track what was in the cart and have that dynamically populate in an email using some sort of dynamic variables. So for example, one of the email autoresponder systems that I prefer to use that has this feature is Klaviyo. Klaviyo has dynamic variables that you can add to your email sequences, meaning some sort of specific language that they use to communicate with the back end of Klaviyo to tell the system that the products that were in the cart on the page when the user abandoned should come up in the email. And there's a way to dynamically enter that, so no matter what product the user is looking at on the site, that product then comes up, either the name of the product in text in the email, or you can actually preload some of your products catalogs with pictures so that the system brings up the picture of the products that the user was about to purchase when they left your site. So dynamic remarketing in an email autoresponder is a very important feature for e-commerce companies, especially if you're trying to grow and you need to increase the amount of revenue you're getting from your email automations. Ontraport, unfortunately, does not have that feature at this time. And after contacting their customer service, they mentioned that they've had a lot of complaints about this feature, but they don't officially have it on their product roadmaps to build it in as a feature. So for me personally, for e-commerce, especially a rapidly scaling e-commerce company, I cannot recommend Ontraport. But if you're just an entrepreneur, you're trying to simplify the amount of software you're using, and you want something that's kind of an all-in-one package to acquire new leads and then resell to them via email, I think Ontraport is a great option. All right, so there you have it. That is my overview of Ontraport. In this video, I showed you around the platform. I talked a little about some of the specific features that I like the campaign maps. I let you know the one type of company I would not recommend Ontraport for, which is a multi-product e-commerce company. And then I talked a little bit about what other types of companies this might be good for, specifically new entrepreneurs. So if you guys have any questions about that, please leave it in the description below. You guys can leave a comment asking me any questions that you have about Ontraport or anything you'd like to see on this topic. If you haven't already, I invite you to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any more of my tutorials or updates on new software I'm using or new entrepreneurs that I'm interviewing. And as always, thank you for watching. I appreciate you spending your time here.